Hello, I'm Baz from Optimal Game State. I have just made a few updates this weekend to our Blood Bowl card creator. Might not be something you're aware of, might not be something you're interested in, but bear with me because we've got some cool stuff in here. So first up, we have the normal card. So you can see here an example of it. You have the ability to, change the numbers, change stats, update things, and you can save them and reload them for later if you want, or save them as an image. So let's open up an example one. So here we have one of the Vampire Team drawers, all the details, everything you can kind of put in. Obviously, this is something that you can buy straight away from GW, and if the card pack is available, certainly something you can do. If you're only interested in actually having the player cards, this is another option. There are advantages to it. If you want to do a league and you have your players developing, you have the opportunity then to customize them. So put in a specific team name for your team, maybe name them, and you do get to make changes. So if you're adding in an extra skill, if they level up a stat, you can make that change and have that card existing. A lot of players don't need it, but it can be handy for new players, and it's a bit of fun. We also have a option in here for a special player. So if I change this player type from roster player to star player, we get a few more options here. We can pick who they play for, and we can add in some special rules. An example of that, we've got a Cheney in here, and we've added a few features in. So if as the text grows, it gets a little bit smaller. So hopefully you'll be able to squeeze anything you're looking for into it. Also, we have this Blood Bowl background. So if you have an image with get a PNG with a transparent background, you'll just have the player, and then you'll have Blood Bowl happening in the background, which is kind of cool. Otherwise, you can get a full image, and it'll sit in that little bit of a frame there. Anyway, those are the few updates that we've had for this piece. What's new is this. So we've got something called the plays or the playbook. One of the cool things about Blood Bowl is you can pre-plan. There's a lot of tactics, there's a lot of strategy involved. For a player like me, who's kind of intermediate, I'd say, I love checking out the various podcasts and guides and watch people play. And often I see all these different plays, and it's great to kind of have the idea of them. For a few of them, I would be able to put them together, but a lot of them, there's kind of so many that I'm not very familiar with them. So this is a tool, so we can change the name, we can change the team name. Team name doesn't appear here, but it's used for other things. We change colors, and we can move the players around. So we can change the icon, the letter, depending on what you're looking for, and then you can move all your players around into the formation. And then the idea here is that you print it out and have it handy as a card. So when you're deciding what to go for, you'd have your playbook. And indeed, that's what we call it. There's a little little example of a card you could use for the back. So the idea is you'd have like 5 or 6 of these that you'd normally typically use your team, and then you'd be able to flick through them, decide exactly what plays, what formations you'd like, and use it. Again, as with the card creator, you can save it as an image. You can remove the border, which is handy if you're getting them printed. They a little bit of bleed is good for the kind of professional printing services that you can get, and you can do card and do card back. And you can save as file, load the file later. We've also got a few of them in here pre-saved. So an anchor defense, that's a spread defense. A few of the options there already in. We do have an option for background if it's only currently plain, but we might add a few more later. And the idea here is if you want to add a different board beyond the standard. We do some text, which I'm not really using at the moment, but the idea of it is that you could write in sections if you wanted to. And we do have an optional image. The optional image is kind of cool because the kind of default expectation, you could do lots of things with it. It'll just do an image between the board and underneath. But we have a couple of kind of default icons that you can drop down on it, kind of signify if this is going to be for your Amazon team or whichever. We also have a few of the pre-done builds. Now, I'm not super familiar with Blood Bowl. I enjoy playing it, but I'm not deep into the woods with it. For a lot of these formations, I went to the Bonehead podcast and watched as Ben described some of the options, and then loaded some up. So we have some for Dark Elves. We've got a few of the general ones we've seen earlier. Different one for Dwarf. So you can kind of customize them. You can change the name. You can add the logo or whatever image you want. And yeah, you can change the color and you can move the guys around. So it's simple enough. It's a nice little small tool. If you wanted, it's a kind of a handy reference just to pull up the plays, even if you're never printing them out. But if you were at the point where you weren't 100% familiar with the different formations and still were aware they existed and want to take them along with you, you could print a few of these out and go with it. So that's it. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, if you've got any ideas, any suggestions on how to improve it, or other things that would be useful for Blood Bowl, please do tell me and we'll see what we can do. Thanks for making it all the way to the end. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Each week I put up a new video talking about one of Games Workshop's specialist games. The goal is always to try and make the best possible two-player experience. If this is something you'd find interesting, please subscribe to the channel and comment to let me know what you'd like to see in future.